Remember this. A year isn't 365 days. It's 52 chances, 12 chapters, and 4 seasons. Your life can change this year. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need certainty. You don't need confidence. You need momentum. You need one decision. You need one step. And you need to remember this. 1 year of intention can undo 10 years of drifting.
Sometimes it's not enough. Let's be honest. If it was enough, you'd already be there, wouldn't you? Sometimes we give up. Sometimes we don't even realize the day that we stopped fighting for who we are supposed to be and we've settled for who we are. So, what is the dark side? Sometimes we gotta go on the other side and create the pain in our body of not taking action.
I never wanted to feel it again. But what it did was it showed me what is possible. And that's what set the new stage for me. That's when I realized, oh man, I've really been underachieving my entire life. But it taught me what is possible.
I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but I don't care if somebody does. They think you're soft, homie. They think you're weak. They don't respect you. They look at you and they see fear. They see mediocrity. You're the one they point and laugh at. And it's been like this for so fucking long. It's about time you flip that switch. People like them exist because people like you exist. It's because they feed on you to survive. You got 2 choices in this life. You either accept the cards you've been dealt and let life beat the shit out of you. You dig your heels in and you fight the fuck back. You've been complacent for too long, bro. Lace them up, put the gloves on and start swinging back.
No one's coming to save you. No map, no instructions, no easy way out. The way out is through. Life's chaos will find you. That's the reality of chasing anything worth having. Your obstacles are just tests of your will. If the door is locked, break it down. If there is no path, carve a new one. There is no waiting for permission, no crying out for help. Winning is reserved for those who refuse to quit. It's simple. Grow or die. No one owes you and no one owns you. You must save you.
Just don't give up, even if right now it doesn't make sense. One day, I'm very, very sure, when you start to see the connections and things fall into place, you will maybe also realize that it couldn't have been different. Giving up was just simply not the question, was simply never an option. The winners continue where the losers stop.
So what stops you becoming the fullest version? It's the things in you that whisper to you that you cannot be the things that you hope for. It's not usually prohibitions, it's inhibitions. What stops us are the lies we believe that are not true.
To launch towards your goal, never consider the possibility of failure. Always forward, never backward. Always forward, never backward. Never consider the possibility of failure. Your ability to persist in the face of setbacks and disappointment is vital to all great achievement, and it's always a decision that you make. It's not the external environment, it's always the internal environment.
Opportunity mixed with difficulty. Opportunity mixed with challenge. We've got a chance to grow like never before, but I'm telling you, there's going to be many enemies that's going to try to prevent us. As soon as you plant the garden, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it. And you've got to learn not only to nourish your values, you've got to learn to do battle with your enemies. Whatever threatens you, I'm asking you to threaten it back. Take care of your responsibility, but don't take anything off anybody.
Greatness has no moods. You can't just be in the mood to be great. You can't just be in the mood to be a hard worker. You can't just be in the mood to be disciplined. It doesn't work that way. It has to become who you are. It has to consume you. It has to be your identity. Despite what I'm going through, despite my past failures, despite what people are saying about me, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to execute. It's not what I do, it's who I am. And life will seem like it's giving you hundreds of reasons to not execute today, but it's just a test to see how bad you really want it.
The version of you that you are right now is why you have what you have. You got to make a complete identity switch to get something different. And so what happens is when people aren't ready to do that, they will always go back to the low-hanging fruit that they're accustomed to, because your presence will require something different.
So I was just failing, kept failing, and kept failing, and kept failing. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. And what that means is when I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get active the next day just as fast. So the big thing is know that if you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something.
You got to stick to the script. You got to continue to take steps every single day. Even if things don't always work out, don't waver. Don't just start to go off the path because you're not getting what you want. You know what I mean? And trust the process. Have faith that things will work out. And at this moment, what you're going through is teaching you something.
In life, you have to have no fear. You have to have no fear. You have to believe in who you are and what you do. You just go and get it.
What are you waiting for? In all honesty, what are you freaking waiting for? You know, there's not just going to be a day where, for no reason, you're going to just wake up and say, I'm going to go to the gym every day in perpetuity. You know, that doesn't really happen.
Most people don't lead their life. They accept their life. And when you accept your life, you are living on things that are not worthy of your time and effort and energy. To go uphill, you have to be intentional. Nobody ever went uphill by accident. You've never read a book on accidental achievements. You have to be intentional with what you do and who you are.
As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass. Your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen for you, but to open the door in your head. And when the door opens in real life, just walk through it. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. Why not take a chance on faith as well? But faith, not hope. But faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is the beggar. Hope walks through the fire and faith leaps over it.
You know yourself better than anyone, but sometimes you fall into the trap of believing the world. You're the only one who knows what's best for you. You don't need to look for answers anywhere else. They're inside of you. There's going to be noise from every corner. Ignore it. Stay true to yourself, because when you do, every challenge becomes a victory waiting to happen.
Every day, sunrise, sun goes down. So that means there is a up, there is a down. Since we are born, we have inhaled 50% of our times, we have exhaled 50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure.
So the hardest thing to get people about success, the hardest thing is to start. Start, man.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. I do it now, do it now. Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command, do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task.
Five choices, in our life. We can be bad at what we do. I mean, we can be average at what we do. I mean, we can be good at what we do, or we can be excellent, or we can be elite. All right? And everybody has a choice as to what they want to do and how they want to do that. But if you're going to be excellent or elite, you got to do special things. You have to have special intensity. You have to have special focus. You have to have a special commitment and drive and passion, all right, to do things at a high level and a high standard all the time. It doesn't matter what God-given ability that you have. That probably can make you good. But without the rest of it, I'm not sure you ever get excellent or elite.
Remember that it's not the things that happen to you. Like, you might not be able to control everything that happens to you, right? It's inevitable. Things are going to happen that are out of your control. But the one thing that is always in your control is how you respond, your perspective, your mindset. And that's the thing that you need to be taking responsibility for and taking accountability for, is how you respond to these things that happen to you in life. Things are going to happen. You're going to be hurt. You're going to get faced with adversity. You're going to be heartbroken, right? You might lose somebody. Whatever it may be, there's so many things that will happen to you that aren't in your control. And you need to focus on responding in the way that is going to help you, that is going to nurture you and help you move forward instead of keeping you stuck.
Don't really let anybody take away that dream from you. Nurture it, water it like you water the flowers. Even if you find only one person in this world that will accept, embrace, and support your dreams, find that person and dream big, because you can make it.
The goal that you seek, or the prize that you're seeking, is in the work that you're not doing. No matter where your goal is in terms of its height or how delusional it may seem, you're still gonna aim for it. And just figure out whether or not you'll get there later.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. But if you don't have a little flame, you're done. I can't light it for you. And that's the harsh reality of this life that I want to get across so fucking bad. You have to explore, examine the insides of yourself. And what do you really want out of life?
Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So if you think insecure thoughts, in a matter of seconds, you are going to feel insecure. Brain is monitoring how you're feeling, and you think more insecure thoughts, which then makes you feel more insecure. And the repetition of that cycle conditions the body to become the mind of insecurity. And whenever you say, I am anything, you are commanding your mind and body into a destiny.
Even if you're tired, you can still go to the gym. Even if you're annoyed with your spouse, you can still speak in a manner that's loving. Even if you don't feel like doing that hard work, you can still push yourself to do it. Your feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice.
Life is about loss. As time goes on, we lose fights, we lose people we love, we lose our hair, and then we lose our life. You know? It's all a loss. But from all these losses, we learn so much.
When everything is falling apart in your life, when people are leaving you, when people are betraying you, when people are not coming through with their word, are you still going to put in the work? Are you still going to execute? Are you still going to do today what you told yourself that you would do yesterday?
Seeing opportunities instead of seeing punishments, and instead of seeing downturns in your life, seeing opportunities, it's just going to have such a much better impact on the way where you get to.
A constant vision of what it is you want to achieve, see it accomplished, and go all out. Find a way to win in spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. I tell people, fail your way to success. I have a saying, is life knocks you down trying to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
I'm continuing to take the steps each and every day
and to move in a direction that I know is aligned with, my calling and my truth, then I know that I'll get to where I need to be when I need to be there, right? And all that's doing is distracting you from moving in the direction that you need to be moving into, and the more you focus on what everybody else is doing, the more you're going to continue to make decisions that aren't aligned with what you should be doing.
The power of the mind, realizing how powerful our minds actually are.
This is yours.
See yourself as high as you possibly can see yourself.
Everything comes from the imagination.
The only way really was, in order to be happy, is to create my own world.
I had to convince myself that I'm going to make it.
If you can't visualize winning, then you will not win.
And if you begin to think of yourself as the master of your own destiny.
Since I was 14, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. I woke up, this is the guy.
People say it's like 90% mental, 10% physical. I just think it's 100% mental.
If I can see it, then it must be a reality.
If you visualize before, you will be more prepared.
In order to paint a bright future for yourself, you have to be able to see it in your mind. You have to believe in it.
And whatever I see in my mind, I can make happen. So what I'm living in is my dream.
We live in a mental universe. All causation is mental. If you wish to change your universe, you have to change your mentality.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
And he would say, this is the greatest toy ever created. Here lies the secret of all happiness.
So your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
Clarify and define your vision for yourself in the highest possible way that you can see it. Be specific and see yourself as high as you possibly can, right? That's your first job, is to see it as high as you can see it. Be delusional, to the point where where your mind, right at the apex of what your mind believes is possible, maybe push past that even a little bit and define it.
And everything originates in the mind. The idea is what inspires the opportunity for you to get up and pursue a business. The inspiration that you observe and you think about, when you observe an athlete win, and that inspires you to endeavor and work hard and become an athlete yourself. Everything originates in the mind.
So I want you to think about a goal or something that is just wildly in your dreams, right? A place where your deepest desires can become a reality. So I want to talk to that part of your mind, that where you believe it's possible. And the power I'm talking about, obviously, is the power of visualization.
A person's successful if they know where they are and they know where they're going and they're progressively moving in that direction. He said that success was the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Anyone that has a goal and they're moving towards it, they're successful.
You become what you think about. You become what you think about. And since the only thing that you can control is your thinking, if you change what you are thinking about, you will begin to change your reality. If you change what you expect, you change what you believe, you change your dominant thoughts, you change your inner workings, you begin to attract into your life people, circumstances, events, opportunities, and everything consistent with your new thoughts. The reason people are unsuccessful is they think thoughts of unsuccess or failure.
Oh, outsiders. It was isolation. It was visualization. It was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life.
Both of them together, when you have the vision and you're able to manifest, but then you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic, that's where the magic is. We're blessed that we can dream.
Important it is to look at yourself at high regard and to believe in yourself. In order to paint a bright future for yourself, you have to be able to see it in your mind. You have to believe in it. And the more you believe in it, the more your world will start to change.
Remember, every dream realized started in someone's imagination. It started in their mind. And with consistent practice and faith, visualization,
will become your bridge between where you are now and where you desire to be. See it, feel it, and then believe in it.
How is it going to feel when your dreams become a reality? Go there. You go there, whatever it is.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person who would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person. It goes back to what the great German poet and philosopher Goethe once said. Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it.
And the average person, because we're programmed not to win, 99% of us are, we don't think anyone can. So when someone does, it's amazing. But it's just a program. As soon as you're born, I've said this before, you don't know about fear or what to be scared of until someone tells you what to be scared of. And a lot of what people tell you to be scared of is to actually be successful and dream and be independent and be on your own.
Most people don't focus on their mindset. Most people are focused on exterior factors. They think that everything that happens to them is by chance. And they don't realize that a lot of the things that happen to them are things that they attract. Because you attract the things that you are, and you are what you do, and you do what you think about. So it's all a cyclical loop. Most people don't understand the power of the mind. That's why they haven't tapped into the power of the mind. And the power of the mind is one very simple thing. The ability to direct your attention towards a specific given objective, and then to have the willpower to pursue it.
Discipline yourselves. Stop thinking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present. Why? Because only then it's possible that the mind is free, the capacity is free, and now you can completely immerse into whatever you are doing. And this means you have arrived.
Ask yourself, can I be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past? What do I want in my life? And take the time to answer the question. As you begin to contemplate and think about the answer to the question, you're changing your brain. When you make your brain fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, that's the beginning steps of changing your mind.
Believe it. You know what I mean? Like see it all the time and believe it. See yourself as high as you possibly can. Define that. Work towards it. And the world will fill in the rest.
In that moment, if you can convince yourself that feeling is so insanely good, then you would be willing to pay the price that the man needed for your big dreams to become a reality. But if you can't sell yourself on that feeling worth experiencing, you're going to be in this camp. But if you can, you're going to be in this camp. By the way, this camp is not that busy. This camp is busy with a lot of different people who did not want to answer that question, and they don't want to meet those demands. So for you, how's it going to feel?
For me, the vision became a reality, so it was only then a matter of following through with the work, but it was pleasure. See, that is the great thing. When you go to work and you know exactly why you're working, then it becomes fun.
The best piece of advice that I ever received is that you are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind. If you can control and wield your mind, you can very much determine your destiny.
You ready? You're hopelessly average. You are not special. You're just like everyone else. And yay! Because that means all you have to believe about yourself is that you can change. That it is in your fundamental nature to grow and get better. That we all inside of us have this deep desire to get better. So I have a dream Okay, fantastic. I have one question. What skills does your dream require you to obtain? If you want to be great, if you want to play on a world stage, you're going to pay an extraordinary price to become the person that you want to become.
After you lose, or when you get knocked out, stay down there for a minute. Understand why you lost. What were the reasons? Why are you down here? Why did you lose? So every time I lost, I stayed down for a second, minutes, hours, days. But when I stood up, I was different. Now you start putting the pieces that are necessary to win over and over and over again.
We all have dreams. I had it when I was younger. So I figured the best place to make those dreams come true are in isolation. So I walked into isolation as David Goggins, but I walked out of isolation as Goggins. When you become the savage, is in isolation. You go in isolation, and that's when your mind changes. That's when your focus changes. Your dedication changes. You just to gain strength, gain focus. Isolation is the key to strengthening your mind. Come on, a savage.
What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. You gotta outprime them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B. Think about that for a second. Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls because he was committed to plan A, not plan B. Plan B sucks.
Sometimes we get stuck in these situations where we start looking to other people for our self-esteem. And sometimes we find ourselves looking in broken mirrors to get a reflection of ourselves.
You are where you are because of the choices you've made and the skill set you've built. Period. End of story. Now, why is that the best news ever? Because it means you're in control. You've steered yourself to exactly this point. But now that you take that control back and you recognize that you can go anywhere you want, become anyone you want to become, but you're going to have to put in the work, now you can decide whether you want to put in that work or not.
Till I get through it, I'm gonna be a better servant because of it. There's this quote that says, you go through the storm and you're not supposed to be the same person on the other side of the storm because that's the purpose of the storm. Like when I go through it, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a better servant, better leader, better team member as a result of it. I'm not gonna resist the opposition. I'm not gonna resist the adversity. I'm not gonna resist the challenge. My favorite quote is the quote by Dr. King that says, you judge the character and caliber of a person not by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge the character and caliber of a person by where they stand in times of challenge and opposition. Everybody can smile when the sun out. Everybody can be happy when they're making money. Now, alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning. Your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, of how many times you're gonna have to do something that you don't want to do to get you where you want to go. That's your new norm. I stopped saying, I've gotta wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm gonna grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press forward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power. Every single day, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Now, let me say this before I move forward, and I can't explain it, but you better feel me. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens. Well, winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
The way to win this game called life is not money, it's not fame, it's not other people's adoration. It is quite simply what you think about yourself when you're by yourself. It's fulfillment. Fulfillment is working really hard to gain a set of skills that are of value to you, that allow you to serve not only yourself, but others. If you do that, if you work really hard to become something, to have a power, building things, whatever the power is that you want, and then you put it to use in service of yourself and others, you put it to use in service of something bigger than you, then you'll have fulfillment. Then you'll have something that the ancient Greeks called techne. It's something that no one can take away from you. It's something born of a cold shower, of working out in the gym, of not eating the thing you want, of getting out of bed immediately when it's time, getting up, studying and practicing long after it stopped being fun. That's fulfillment.
I love the quote that says, I don't fear success. I fear succeeding at something that doesn't matter.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good. Then you like it. Then people ask how you found your passion. Answer, by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
Everything that you want is on the other side of hard. I just think about stacking days. Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change.
It's possible for you, the one who stays up late, putting in extra hours of studying just to pass the class. You, the one who's working 2 jobs to make ends meet. One who's putting extra hours, extra reps in the gym because they believe that their strength is a gift worth sharing with others. Imagine producing the greatest work you've ever produced because it came from your heart. That's the calling. And I know you know it's deep within you. I know you hear it, but I don't know if you'll answer it. That part is entirely up to you.
I'm going to be real with you. Your family's not going to understand it. The people in your hometown aren't going to support you. And no one's going to believe in you until you have something to show for it. That's just how it is. So when you start, do it for yourself.
Be f***ing great. Put the time in to learn the skills. Put the skills into practice and make a commitment to becoming so good that all your peers say, that's the fucker, that's the best. And if you could do that, no matter where you are, no matter if you're cooking French fries, no matter if you're managing the restaurant, no matter if you own 1,000 restaurants, no matter if you created the fucking brand, you cannot be stopped.
All winners have gotten depressed. All winners have been heartbroken. All winners have been disappointed. But they kept moving forward. That's the only reason they're winners. Nobody has just winning all the time. Nobody does.
Do you feel defeated that you can never achieve what you want? It's so hard to achieve. Whatever I put my mind to, I try hard, but it doesn't work. Do you ever have those conversations? Well, you're telling yourself that it's over. You're telling these stories to yourself that you can't achieve this. Inside of your mind, you haven't decided what you really want. You're confused. So it's time for you to find clarity on what do you really want. Do you want this to work? Then all your statements, all your chatters should be about making it happen.
But
think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams. And it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
That's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want. And dreams do come true. Anything you want can happen and become a reality. I believe that sincerely. I'll die on that thought. You don't start things and not finish. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish.
Remember this, you can't just quit.
We finish everything. You start it, finish it.
If you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen.
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off. Say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
What the is your life? Are you happy with it? See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable forever. But it's gotta be built right. Or we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. What have you done with your life to make it something else besides the normality of everybody else? The intake, the outtake of what you call life is nothing more than time. And unless done something with, it's forgotten about. There's no footprint of your existence left for anyone else to follow.
What happens is you have all these voices, and this can be hard, but for some reason, you put so much practice into you that you can ignore every one of them that are telling you you're not gonna make it and still be able to make it. Because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process. It's such a daunting task that all the voices are saying no. But you still have the conviction that I know I can do this.
They don't realize that they still hold the pen. There's thousands of empty pages still in that book that they can rewrite that story. But we have to let go of the pages that others have written in our book and realize we got this pen. And we can start writing how the story looks from this day forward.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now. Empty the cup.
You chose this path. It's a damn hard one. You owe it to yourself to see it through.
Why? We all ask why we should work this hard. Why take that many classes? Why go to school that many years? Why take the notes? Why read the books? Why work that hard? Why put yourself through the push-ups and the disciplines? Why? Good question, why? Best answer to why, I think, is the second question. Why not?
It's time to take all of that negativity, all of those labels that were tried to be thrown at you. It's time to take all of them and wear them as badges of honor. Oh, you told me that I was weak? You told me that I would never be anything? Watch me become successful. Everything that people throw at you to bring you down, it makes the victory sweeter when you get to the top of the mountain. That's why they throw it at you. It's meant to be part of your story.
Only weak motherfuckers in life go after things and attempt things they already know they can achieve. You gotta do something you're not quite sure of. Try something new if you want to switch it up. That's where growth comes, man. That's when your body's forced to adapt. Forced to suffer the discipline today. So you never suffer the form of regret tomorrow.
There is no story without a plot. There is no story without a villain trying to bring the hero down. That's why we watch the movies. That's why we read the stories. We want to see that story of triumph. It's what inspires us deep down within to take the same action.
What is something that all the successful people who have ever lived or who will ever live have in common? It is the first step. They have all, and all will have, an unwavering commitment to take the critical first step. All dreams, ambitions, and goals have this in common. You have to start. You have to take the first step.
Instead of making huge plans with huge steps, better think about how to structure your 24 hours and put a little bit of what you want to develop there inside that day. No matter what you are going through in life, how sad you are, how much pain you're feeling, the trauma that you're going through, you are strong enough to see another day. And it's not about being 100% every single day. It's about just showing up. That's what I do. No matter what the odds, no matter how I'm feeling, I show up every single day.
I had made the decision that I would either die or I would succeed. For anyone who's going through it right now, the refrain, the repeated message that I had to myself over and over again was, I cannot lose if I do not quit. And so if I could just have that, then it meant that it was like this tiny little thing. It's like, if I don't quit, I didn't lose. It just means I still get to play.
We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. That in fact, it may be necessary to encounter defeats so we can know who the hell we are. What can we overcome? What makes us stumble and fall and somehow miraculously rise and go on?
You are the hero in this story. You are the hero in your story. And now you can take all of that negativity, all of that pain, and you can use it to hurt people. You can use it to dish out the same negativity, the same hurt that you receive. Or you can take that pain, take all of that hurt, and use it as the reason to never see it in the world again.
Listen to people that are going to tell you that you can't do it. Don't listen to haters. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people that give you advice that tell you to slow down or you shouldn't do it or you can't do it or time's not right or any of those other things. Those are dream stealers. They were sent to you to see if you'll overcome them. They were sent to you to test your resiliency. And if you can overcome that, if you just discard all of that stuff and you get clear on those other things, you've got a really good chance of doing something great with your life. And just remember what you were put here to do. You're not a mistake. You're not here by an accident. You were born to do something great with your life.
The easy route never pays well. The only route in life that pays well is the hard route, the struggle, the pain, the frustration, and the overcoming of those things. And not only do they pay, they fulfill you as well, because it shows the people around you what is possible, and there's nobility in that.
If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
One trait that predicts success, that one more attempt at a set or a rep in the gym, that one more plate that you're going to put on when you're working out, that one more mile that you're going to run, that one more time when you fell on your ass and you're going to get back up, that one more time that you're going to make an attempt at your life's ambitions. That is the separator between average people and savage people.
In every family, there's the one. And that one changes that family forever. In my family, I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one who lost sleep at night. I'm the one who got up early. I'm the one who carried the emotional burden of winning. Just like you are. You're the one.
When it's time, you'll know. Trust me, when that moment comes, the feeling is unmistakable. So no matter how dark things might get, never forget that you are the light. You can pull yourself out of any situation. but it's going to take effort. It's going to take putting in the work when no one's watching or even cheering you on. Stop looking outside yourself to conquer that voice within. You have what it takes. Now go make it happen.
Telling you, the moment you truly decide to commit to self-mastery, to becoming your 2.0 self, to really elevating to the highest version of yourself, you will lose 99% of your friends. And the reason for that is you will scare them because they will not understand why you're so committed to self-development, self-actualization, becoming a better human. You won't have things in common anymore, right? Because if you are trying to transcend to self-mastery, to develop as a better human, and so in your process, in your journey of self-development, you will lose 99% of your friends.
Pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll buckle. You have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody go fuck themselves.
Most important question to ask yourself is, what pain are you willing to endure in your life, rather than what pleasure do you want? So whatever pursuit it is that you're going through, whatever challenges are placed in front of you, realize that there is value in stepping outside of their comfort, but on the other side of discomfort is something valuable. We're told that worthwhile things are difficult to attain, because if they weren't difficult to attain, they wouldn't be worthwhile.
And really ask yourself that question. What is it essentially that you are looking for living this life? How much of where you want to go did you achieve already? And also, are you actually still finding yourself on the way to wherever you wanted to go?
If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you are left with the memories of your past, and you'll be predictable in your life. If you're not creating anything new, that means you're believing in your past more than you're believing in your future. So then if the person is living in anger, impatience, resentment, frustration, and they're holding the intention of their future, they're waiting for their success to feel abundance or empowerment. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. Well, that's the old model of reality of cause and effect, waiting for something outside to change how we feel inside. And if you're living in that lack and you know that you're creating your future, you're creating more lack. And if you're reacting to the people and conditions in your life that are all known to you, then your thoughts and feelings are equal to everything that you know. You keep creating the same life.
One entire year has just passed. Look at yourself in the beginning of this year compared to right now. Are you any different? Are you the same guy that you were in the beginning of the year? Try to make sure that this year you at least change something up, right? If years pass and you're just the same dude, then you're not really living in a way. I kind of feel like you're just being pushed through life.
Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you.
You know, that first, step, when you really decide, all right, I got to start changing things, it is very uncomfortable because you're going to start doing things that aren't the norm in your life. You're going to have to let go of old ways, let go of old habits, and start stepping in and implementing new ones. And that is a very uncomfortable process because you're stepping into the unknown. You're stepping into something that your body is not familiar with. But at the end of the day, it's so rewarding in the long run. And if you can just stick it out through that first step where it gets really uncomfortable, on the flip side of that is everything that you want in life. It's the relationship, it's the job, it's the situation, it's the environment, it's the community.
Don't resent tough times. When life hands you adversity, it's not to expose how weak and vulnerable you are. It's to push you to become more resourceful and show you that you're capable of making it through what once felt impossible. Your battles are intended to build your character, not destroy your spirit. There is growth in your struggle. So just keep pushing.
With our thoughts, we create the world. That means there is something powerful about you. If you are disciplined, if you do the proper things, if you stay determined, stop the laziness, chances are very high that many of the goals that you're setting to yourself will become true.
What are you willing to sacrifice? And what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. So the things that are important to you in life, you must do always, or you're nobody.
It's impossible to increase your mental toughness if you're afraid of failure. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't get outside of your comfort zone. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't do hard things. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't throw yourself into the fire just to find out who you are on the other side of it. Throw yourself into the deep waters just to find out who you are on the other side.
Being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Just do it anyway. Do it tired. Do it sad. Do it lonely. Do it without a role model. Because if you're waiting for somebody to come along and give you the helping hand, sometimes you're going to be waiting too long.
Rule number 1. The most important key to achieving great success is to decide upon your goal and then launch. Take action. Do something. Move. That the act of taking the first step is what separates the losers from the winners, or the winners from the losers.
You're just tired. You're tired of knowing better and not doing better. What's that? Because sometimes the hardest mercy to have is your own. And if you don't stop to forgive the man that you were, you just keep punishing the man you're meant to become.
There's a phrase I always say, and this phrase needs to stick with you for the rest of your life. The question is, are you done yet? Are you truly finished with what you came to do? And so my phrase that I've said to myself for a lot of years, and I say in the darkest of times, don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
Progress takes patience. The big goal you've got isn't going to happen today or tomorrow or next week. It doesn't work like that. But if you take small steps every day, you keep doing them every day, and just don't stop, it will happen one day.
Marcus Aurelius said you could have been great today, but instead you chose tomorrow. Today you could have been that guy. You could have been number one. You could have been the person you've always wanted to be. We think we have infinite time, but we don't. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow, Monday, next week. And guess what? Tomorrow never comes. There was someone who died today that told themselves they would start tomorrow. We get 75 years on this earth if we're lucky. If we're lucky. So stop lying to yourself about what you'll do tomorrow and prove it by what you do today.
Confront your fears. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. If you do it over and over again, you develop the habit of courage. When you develop the habit of courage, eventually you find you're not afraid of anything. When you're not afraid of anything, your whole world opens up for you like a sunrise on the horizon.
I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. And I started realizing through this process that the mind is what you created. And I started opening different doors that I didn't think were even there, that I didn't think even existed. And the more doors I opened up, the more I started realizing that my potential is damn near endless.
You know you're wasting time. You know you're being lazy. And you know exactly what you should be doing, but you don't do it. Why? Because it's easier to stay comfortable than to face the discomfort of growth. The laziness isn't just doing nothing, it's knowing better and still choosing less. It's that voice convincing you I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't come.
I thought fear was a beast to conquer. It's not what I expected. They never are. These dragons we imagine. Tell me. Fear was always protecting something precious. My dreams, my heart. But the only way I knew how was by saying no. And what does that tell you? Being afraid doesn't mean I'm not ready. Sometimes it means I'm exactly where I need to be. Standing at the edge of something important.
People want this to be cut and dry. They want this to be easy. They want it to be quick. They want it to be painless. There's nothing easy, quick, and painless about being fucking great at building anything in life, creating anything in life, becoming anything in life. You are going to suffer. It is going to be hard. It is going to take all of your energy. You're going to be demoralized. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to be bitter sometimes. This is why it's so important to build yourself into someone who can execute regardless of what your mood is, regardless of what your circumstances is, because if you can execute when things are f***ed up and everybody else bails and everybody else quits, what kind of advantage does that give you over the long haul?
Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. Getting better at anything really never feels good. Like if you're building resilience, it's not a time that you're like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel good. Like, so that's what, okay, I don't like this. This feels like shit. But because it's hard, because I can't lift these weights anymore. But like, those are the moments, for what it's worth, where you're getting better. There are going to be days where you get up and you do exactly what you're supposed to do and you work as hard as you possibly can and nothing happens. And on that day, you're going to feel like you're wasting your effort. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time. On that day, you're going to wonder why you're even doing what you're doing. But on that day, you're going to promise yourself that you're going to get up tomorrow and do the exact same thing. And when tomorrow arrives and the same thing happens, you're going to promise yourself once again that you're going to get up the next day and do it all over again. If you repeat that process over and over and over again, one day it's going to feel as though the stars have aligned, where all of a sudden everything just seems to click and everything is going your way out of nowhere. But that day is not just given to you. You have to earn that day. The cost of that one day where it feels like the stars have aligned is all those days where it felt like you were wasting your time. They say luck is where preparation meets opportunity. The days where you're wasting your time is your preparation, and that one day where everything clicks is that opportunity.
If you lack talent, you can't sit back and say, I'll start in half an hour. I can't do that. I gotta start now. And after I get back from starting, I gotta start again. And when I get done with that run or that study session, if it wasn't good enough, I gotta go back again. Because repetition is what taught me everything. So you can honestly outwork anything.
There will come a day where you don't feel strong anymore, where everything in you screams to walk away, not because you're lazy, not because you don't care, but because you're tired in a way most people will never understand. The hours, the weight, the setbacks nobody sees, it adds up and it wears you down. And you start thinking maybe the dream isn't worth it anymore. Maybe you're not cut out for this after all. That's the voice that creeps in when you're exhausted. The voice that only shows up when you're inches away from something bigger. And if you listen too long, it sounds reasonable. It sounds rational. It sounds like it's protecting you. But it's lying to you. It's fear in disguise. It's weakness pretending to be wisdom. Because the truth is, you didn't come this far to only come this far. You didn't pour your soul into this just to stop when it got uncomfortable. You didn't bleed just to walk away when it got hard. This is what hard feels like. This is what the turning point feels like. This is the part of the story they skip in the highlight reels. The long, brutal, lonely middle. The nights where you wonder if it's all a waste. The mornings where your body says no, but your spirit says one more rep. Anyone can keep going when it's easy, when the results are visible, when the applause is loud. But who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when progress is invisible, when it feels like nothing you're doing is working, when you're breaking and bending and doubting yourself in ways you didn't even know were possible. That's the real test. And the ones who make it, they aren't the ones who never wanted to quit. They're the ones who wanted to quit 10,000 times and kept moving anyway, dragging themselves forward if they had to, crawling if they had to, gritting their teeth and pushing into the pain because the mission mattered more than their feelings. You don't overcome because you feel good. You overcome because you refuse to be conquered. Every second you fight through when you want to quit, you are making deposits into a future that people will call luck. They won't know about the nights you broke in half and kept going. They won't know about the mornings you got up when your heart was still heavy. They'll just see the outcome, and they'll say it must have been easy for you. Let them. You'll know the truth, that you earned it in the trenches, that you built the version of yourself they're applauding now, out of broken days, out of silent nights, out of lonely battles no one else was willing to fight. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need another reason. You need to remember who you said you'd become. Remember the promises you made when you were strong, when you believed in yourself, when you could still see the vision clearly. That version of you is still alive. It's just buried under fatigue, buried under setbacks, buried under the weight of the process. Dig them out. Fight for them. Fight for the future you swore you'd build. Because if you quit now, you'll have to live with the version of yourself that knows you were capable and still walked away. You'll have to live with the regret that whispers, you almost made it. You almost broke through. You almost touched the life you were born to live. But you gave it up because it got hard. And that regret, it never leaves. It follows you. It rots you from the inside. Don't let that be your story. You are stronger than the storm you're standing in. You are harder than the wall standing in your way. You are deeper than the doubt trying to drown you. You didn't come this far to stop now. You didn't survive everything you survived just to fold when the real test showed up. The finish line is closer than you think. Most people quit when they're inches away. One more fight, one more round, one more step. Keep moving, even if it's ugly, even if it's slow, even if you have to drag yourself forward by your fingertips. Keep moving, because on the other side of this pain is the person you were born to become. And if you could see who's waiting for you on the other side, you wouldn't even hesitate. You'd keep going. You'd fight harder. You'd realize this pain isn't a punishment. It's a portal to a new life, a new level, a new legacy. But only if you keep going, only if you refuse to fold, only if you choose right now to suffer for a season instead of suffocating for a lifetime. This is your moment. This is your line in the sand. Decide. You're either going to be the one who almost made it, or the one who refused to be denied. The choice isn't easy, but it is yours. Keep going.
Most people fear death because they wasted their life. Too busy chasing approval, ignoring instincts, and ran out of time to be who they were. They lived for everyone else. Their parents, friends, spouses, bosses, even a stranger on a screen. But they never lived for themselves. Now with their back against the wall, they realized the truth. The world never cared, and they let themselves rot for nothing. Now you can make excuses, say it was a sacrifice, but the mirror doesn't lie. So if you look in that mirror and see your reflection and ask yourself, was it worth it? And if the answer is no, then what the hell are you waiting for? Be you. And live like time owes you nothing. Because it doesn't. Do something that makes you happy.
Life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is a dream, realize it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a duty, complete it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a struggle, accept it. The second one reads, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, where he stands at times of challenge and controversy.
I'm gonna say something to you. You're smart, you're talented, you know a few things, but talent means nothing in this game if you don't make the right choices. There's plenty of talented people out there who never see the light of day anymore. Last thing takes discipline. Because this whole game is one big long shot. And if you don't have the discipline to stay away from the flyers or from the gambles or whatever else you want to call a stupid move, then my friend, I'm afraid to say one day you will go down. It's inevitable. You want my advice? Make a list of everything you want, and then plan on spending the next 25 years of your life getting it, slowly, piece by piece.
Those who fight with dragons for too long become dragons themselves. And those that gaze into the abyss gazes right back. All of us have a dragon's lair, a haunting, a shadow, that thing within us, or that place where we don't want to touch, and we don't want to look, and we don't want to go on that journey of figuring out, because there's a dragon in there, right? That's what everyone's telling us. And so what this quote is trying to tell us is, hey, I know you've heard all of these myths and tales, but what if you went and figured it out yourself? What if instead of gazing and being so scared that you're going to get eaten by something or whatever, you walk into the dark and go see it for yourself? Very scary thing. Not many people would do that because Mr. Fear has lied.
But the real answer to your question is that when it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
You have to be singular, inflexible, unyielding in your own work so that even the struggle, that very struggle to achieve, becomes its own reward. A hard, simple ability to continue is a kind of blessing. You can't do your work according to other people's values. I'm not talking about also following your dream either. I never liked the inspirational value of that phrase. Besides being sentimental, it's beside the point. Dreaming is a way of trivializing the process, the obsession that carries you through the failure as well as the successes, which could be harder to get through. I mean, if you're dreaming, you're sleeping. That's important. An imperative to always be awake to your feelings, your possibilities, your ambitions, and don't get hung up on the consequences, because they can be good, like awards, success, and even celebrity, and they can be bad, like no awards, no success, and no celebrity.
Things will happen to things that you cannot control. A raw emotion will find you when it does. How you deal with it, what you do, will define who you are.
Did that happen to you?
Oh, it happens to all of us, whether we want it to or not.
They starve there, make us who we are. We're meant to go back and fix them. And there's nothing broken with you that needs to be fixed. Take it from an old guy who's made a lot of mistakes.
Don't live your past. Live your life. Don't let your tragedy define you.
What if it's supposed to define me? Your tragedy made you a hero.
That also made me alone.
I'm not defined by my past. My past has taught me who I am. To be able to evaluate the situation present and apply what I've learned to make the best choice. And that choice is based on character. It's based on morality, integrity. Never about financial return. Never about monetary value or tangible items. It's always been about the character, the intangible item.
Sometimes we need help to get there. Yes. You've come a very long way. In a very short time. Well, it doesn't feel that way. But you should know that I have always taken the path that is most right. Most right. The result is never in question for me. Just what path do you take to get there? And there is always one that is most right. And that is what this is.
You have to be willing to sacrifice some comfort to step into what is for you. It may mean sacrificing old habits and old ways, right? This season that you're in or you're trying to step into may need you to sacrifice old habits, old ways of thinking, right? Old spaces you used to navigate. Are you willing to do that for your growth, right?
There's a weight to being alone that few people talk about. Solitude can feel like a void, like silence pressing in from all sides, magnifying every thought, every doubt, every piece of yourself you've been trying to outrun. It can feel like the world has forgotten you, like no one sees you, like you've been left behind while everyone else moves forward. But here's the thing about solitude. It's not a punishment. It's a crucible. Most people fear being alone. They fill their lives with distractions, with noise, with people who barely see them, because the thought of sitting with themselves is unbearable. But solitude forces you to face yourself. It strips away the masks, the performances, the external validation. It takes everything you thought you needed, the attention, the applause, the company, and asks, who are you without it? Who are you when it's just you? And that's where the strength is. That's where the growth is. Because when you're alone, there's no one to impress, no one to hide behind, no one to tell you who you're supposed to be. It's just you, raw, unfiltered, and real. And in that space, in that silence, you find the truth about yourself. The truth is, solitude doesn't weaken you, it sharpens you. It's in the quiet moments, the ones where you feel like no one is watching, that you discover who you really are. You learn what you value, what you stand for, what you're capable of. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard. But strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in the moments when you're forced to carry your own weight, when there's no one to lean on, no one to rely on but yourself. Think about a tree standing alone in an open field. It doesn't have the shelter of a forest to protect it. It's exposed to every storm, every gust of wind, every blazing sun. And yet because of that, its roots grow deeper. Its trunk grows stronger. Its resilience is unmatched. That's what solitude does to you. It makes you unshakable. But here's the thing about solitude. It's not just about enduring it. It's about using it. It's about turning it into a forge, where you can shape yourself into something stronger, something wiser, something whole. Because when you're alone, you're free. Free from the noise of the world, free from the expectations of others, free to ask yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And the answers to those questions, they're not easy. They don't come all at once. But in solitude, you have the time and the space to find them, to explore the parts of yourself you've been too busy to face, to confront the fears, the insecurities, the wounds that you've been carrying. And through that confrontation, through that process of sitting with yourself, you begin to heal. You begin to grow. Solitude isn't just about being alone. It's about becoming whole. It's about learning that your worth doesn't come from the people around you, the validation they give you, or the way they make you feel. Your worth comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, from standing on your own 2 feet, from realizing that you're enough, just as you are. But let's be real. It's not easy. There will be days when the silence feels deafening. Days when you crave connection so desperately that you'd give anything to fill the emptiness. And in those moments, it's tempting to reach for anything, any distraction, any temporary comfort, to make the loneliness go away. But don't. Don't fill the silence just for the sake of avoiding it. Sit with it. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. Because solitude is a teacher, and its lessons are powerful. It teaches you resilience, how to keep moving, even when no one is cheering you on. It teaches you clarity, how to separate what matters from what doesn't, how to hear your own voice in a world full of noise. And most of all, it teaches you self-reliance, the kind of strength that doesn't depend on anyone else, the kind of strength that no one can take away from you. When you embrace solitude, you discover something incredible. You don't need anyone else to complete you. You don't need external validation to feel whole. You don't need the approval of others to know your worth. And that realization, that's freedom. That's power. And here's the irony. When you've embraced solitude, when you've found strength in it, you're no longer afraid of being alone. You don't cling to people out of fear. You don't settle for less than you deserve, just to avoid the silence. Instead, you choose the people in your life with intention. You surround yourself with those who add to your peace, not those who disrupt it. And that's when connection becomes meaningful. Not something you need to survive, but something that enhances an already full and complete life.
The function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time.
The death is not waiting behind that door right now. Every second, you are between life and death. One day, it just stays with this, then this is going to happen. So in the moment where you realize it could be my last action right now that I do, having this type of thought on the mind, it could be your last, hopefully, makes you wake up to really focus on the things that are important for you. Because many things are starting to fall away when somebody tells you, look, you only have 1 more week to live. Many problems that at the moment people are caring about, they would just disappear. Then they wake up and realize this shortness of life, how precious it actually is that we are able to be here.
One thing I've noticed about you is you are in a constant state of fear, worry, and doubt. And I need you to remember that where gratitude exists, fear cannot. You need to wake up every single morning and reroute yourself on what you're grateful for, the trials that you've had to overcome. You can be grateful for the goals that have yet to be achieved. See them in your mind. Give gratitude as if they've already happened. Then watch how your life changes.
Genius adores isolation. You want to get in the flow state and do beautiful work. Vincent van Gogh. He only sold 2 paintings, but he's Vincent van Gogh. I would say it's absolutely essential to leave the world regularly
should do your best work to get into flow state. You can be in the world or you can do your finest work. You can't do both.
Master imagination. Be capable of closing your eyes and transporting yourself to an alternate reality in which you can immerse yourself at any given moment. Explore this alternate reality. Identify every detail of every aspect within the environment. Make it so vivid, so real that you can smell the misty air, feel the chill breeze, and see each blade of grass that blows with the wind atop the rolling hills. Bring this vision back and write it down, every last detail, and bring it to life. Create a mood board. Listen to music that matches the environment. Light a candle that matches the scent of the environment. Wear clothes that you could see yourself wearing in that environment. Do everything in your power to bring yourself closer to that vision. And sooner than you believe, your vision will be your reality. I promise.
Everything that you want but you don't have is outside of your comfort zone. And what I have learned in my potential path journey is that there are trade-offs all along the way. At every critical juncture in a person's life, if they want to go to the next level, they don't go to the next level by just stepping up. They go to the next level by realizing they've got to give something up to go there. And the way this works is the higher you go, the higher the price.
Afraid of what other people think. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius says, we all love ourselves more than other people, but for some reason we care about their opinions more than our own. The great British writer Cyril Connolly said, some people are afraid even to kill themselves for fear of what the neighbors might think. And the idea is we're held back by the opinions of people we've never met, the opinions of people we don't care about, the opinions of people we don't agree with on anything else, right? We are held back on what they might think of what we might think or say or do. And this holds us back from the things that we're capable of doing.
We are way too obsessed, and chances are you're way too obsessed with fixing things. You want your life to be different, right? You're saying, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change. But that's only one part of you. There's another part of you that doesn't want things to be different, right? That wants to stay at home, that wants to hit the snooze button. And if you want to master your life, you need to take control of all parts of you. You need to understand all parts of you. And we spend way too much time trying to fix our problems without even understanding, where did this come from? How does this manifest? How does it affect me? So spend a little bit more time or a lot more time with yourself, understanding your conflict. Don't even try to fix your problems, just understand them. That's the one thing that needs to change. And if that changes, then you will be amazed at how easy everything else it'll be like dominoes, where once you understand yourself, then a lot of things will start going positive in your life.
You've spent so much time trying to meet everyone else's expectations, trying to fit into their idea of who you should be. But what would your life look like if you lived it for you? Not for their approvals, not for their applause, but for the quiet moments when you can say, this feels right. Because when it's all said and done, you're the one who has to live with your choices. So make them count for you.
When things come to an end, we often feel it's final, but it's actually the chance for transformation. I was reminded of this the other day when I was going for a run through the woods, admiring the fallen leaves on the ground. Those leaves were not at end of life. They were going back into the earth. They were nourishing the soil. They were giving the chance for new life, for new growth. And like the leaves, we have to be able to embrace change. We have to let go of what no longer serves us. Give yourself the chance for renewal. So when life gets hard, when you start to feel weighed down, remember the beauty of fallen leaves. And when you feel like you're falling, remember, it's your chance for transformation. It's your chance to create space and vibrancy in your life.
Do you feel like you're constantly running,
chasing something better, something bigger, yet never truly arriving. Like no matter how far or how fast you go, something's still chasing you. The truth is, you're not running toward anything. You're running away. Away from the fears that haunt you, the regrets that eat away at you, the pain you've tried to bury deep down. And I'm here to tell you something you might not want to hear. There's only one way to truly escape. You can't outrun the darkness. You can't drown it out with noise. You have to turn around, face it, embrace it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel good. But the person you become on the other side will thank you. The strength, the clarity, and the purpose you're searching for. It's all waiting for you in the very place you've been avoiding. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No phone, no music, no friends to distract you, just you and your thoughts. For most people, the idea is terrifying. Why? Because in the silence, the truth comes out. The things you've been avoiding, the doubts, the failures, the mistakes, they all rise to the surface. And we've been conditioned to think that facing those things is weakness. Let me tell you something. The true weakness is avoiding them. Running from your demons doesn't make them disappear. It only gives them more power. They follow you everywhere, lurking in the shadows, growing stronger every time you try to bury them. And the more you run, the more control they have over your life. But here's the thing. Those demons, that darkness, that's not your enemy. It's a part of you. A part of you that's crying out to be understood, to be acknowledged. And the moment you stop running, the moment you turn around and say, I'm ready to face this, that's the moment you take back your power. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. Freedom from the expectations of others. Freedom from the noise of the world. It's a chance to connect with yourself, to understand who you really are and what you really want. And here's the best part. When you embrace solitude, when you embrace the silence, you stop seeking validation from the outside world. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop living for everyone else and start living for yourself. The darkness isn't just a place of pain, it's a place of transformation. When you go into the darkness, you're forced to confront everything you've been running from. Your mistakes, your regrets, your fears. And at first, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But that's where the magic happens. Because in the darkness, you learn what you're really made of. You learn that you're stronger than your fears, braver than your doubts, and more capable than you ever thought possible. The darkness strips away everything you thought you were and forces you to rebuild yourself from the ground up. And when you come out the other side, you're not just a better version of yourself, you're unstoppable. So how do you do it? How do you stop running and start facing the things you've been avoiding? 1. Start with silence. Turn off your phone. Step away from the noise. Find a quiet place where you can just be. At first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to want to distract yourself. But don't. Sit with it. Let the discomfort come. 2. Acknowledge your fears. Write them down, speak them out loud, whatever it takes to bring them into the light. Because the more you try to suppress them, the more power they have. But when you name them, when you face them, they lose their grip on you. 3. Ask the hard questions. What am I afraid of? What am I running from? What do I need to change? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary. 4. Take small steps. Facing your demons doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. Start small. Spend a few minutes each day in silence. Reflect on one fear at a time, and as you get stronger, take on bigger challenges. 5. Be patient with yourself. Growth isn't linear. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. But don't. Remember, every step you take toward the darkness is a step closer to your true self. When you turn around and face your demons, you don't just conquer them, you transform them. You take the pain that once held you back and turn it into fuel for growth. You take the fears that once controlled you and use them to push yourself forward. You take the darkness that once consumed you and turn it into your greatest strength. And here's the thing. Once you've faced your demons, once you've embraced the darkness, you're no longer afraid of it. You carry that strength with you wherever you go. This isn't just about motivation. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into the person you were always meant to be. So stop running, stop hiding, turn around, face the darkness. Because everything you're searching for, your strength, your purpose, your peace, is waiting for you on the other side.
People who have done phenomenal things, the journey that people go through, what is the inner conversation that they have, the inner monologue? How do each of us navigate through our own insecurities and our own moments of doubt? And then when you have those doubts, understanding where do those doubts come from in the first place? I think once you understand that, then really you can create anything you want. It's just a matter of first how to navigate the journey of the self. Once you have that, you can be dropped into any industry whatsoever and you can figure it out. Do not become a slave to your own mind. Your thoughts dictate your actions, and your actions dictate who you are. The first step to realizing your full potential is to think clearly and think positively.
It's not that life is short, as Seneca reminds us. It's that we waste a lot. And why do we waste it? Why do we waste this precious resource? Because we think that we have an unlimited amount of it. We think we'll get to it later. Marcus Aurelius says you could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow, right? And we do that because we think we have tomorrow. We tell ourselves that lie. What you could say is the biggest lie in the world, right? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. I'll do it when the kids are older. I'll do it when things go back to normal. You don't know that you have that. That's the power of this Stoic exercise, memento mori. Memento mori is the embracing of the moment that you are in and the acceptance that you might not get that many more future moments. That's the power of memento mori. It's not supposed to be depressing. It's supposed to be clarifying, right? It's supposed to make you do that thing now. Stop believing that you have time to waste.
Whatever's in front of you isn't as big as you make it out to be. We start to make these very small things enormous because we allow our minds to take control and go away from us. We have to regain control of our mind. We've all overcome so many things in our lives, but we forget them. And a lot of times we don't spend enough time like reflecting back in our lives, realizing how great we truly are. We go through something, we put it back and we go on. And life is gonna always challenge us, always challenge us. And during that challenging moment, we panic. We forget who we truly are. Most situations, usually we can find the strength to handle them just through having the right mental process.
What exactly are you waiting for? Everything that you have been wishing for is right there waiting for you. All you have to do is show up. If you make a consistent and honest effort in pursuing your dreams, you will succeed.
You want to get to a level where you can't even believe that this is your life. That's how I feel. And I also know that anybody can do it. That anybody can do it. You just have to begin to look at yourself as the machine, and that you are not the person that created you, not the person that created the bad programming that you were forced to learn to operate with, but you are the person that has complete control to reprogram it and start version 1 of you right now. You are now the platform, and you are going to be able to continuously upgrade yourself, guide your evolution in a harmonious and peaceful way where you will continuously now achieve your goals, reach your milestones, become the person that you always dreamed you could be. And at the end of it, you've now developed the skill to continuously get better and better at operating you, the machine, till the day that you die.
How can you beat someone who cannot fucking quit? How can you beat someone who every time they go through a hard time, they get better and they get stronger instead of getting weaker and getting demoralized? How can you beat someone who looks back on all the tests that they've had and said, yeah, that wasn't shit, dude, okay? As opposed to the person who's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And then in 2 months, another thing happens. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It's gonna be the person who has a stoic mentality, who looks at it and says this, okay, all right, we'll get through it. And then the next thing happens. Well, won't do that again, but we'll get through it.
You can't buy what you're looking for. Nobody can give you what you're looking for. What you're looking for is on the other side of thousands of days of unrecognized work that feel like they won't pay off, but eventually do in the biggest way. The confidence you need to carry out the life you want is an earned characteristic, and that is why it's so valuable. Discipline exists only as a result of doing the things that most people are not willing to do. So recognize that what you're searching for is a tall mountain to climb, but there's no sense in letting that scare you. Just start taking the steps. When our brain starts to go through suffering, when our brain starts to go through pain, or starts to go through insecurities, when we start to feel uncomfortable with ourselves, our brain gives us a way out. And that way out is usually quitting or taking the easier route. If we're able to look at ourselves and face whatever we're running from, we can do a lot more than we think. You feel pain, you feel suffering, you feel discomfort, you stop right there. Everybody has a wall in their mind. It's a wall, and it stops us from going further. Most walls have a door or a window. You have to find that. You have to have the courage to find that. And once you open that door or that window, you realize how much further you can go.
In psychology, there is an expression called a sense of control. People are happy when they feel they're in control of their lives. And people are unhappy when they feel they're out of control or controlled by other circumstances. So the starting point would be to teach people to set goals. Setting goals is the master skill of success because from it, everything else is possible. And they can be personal goals, financial goals, but teach them how to set goals. So learn how to set goals first day. What are your goals for this week, this month, this year, 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? You can change as you get new information, but start off with an idea of where you're going. And then make plans to achieve the goals. And then organize the plans. Now, each day, you plan your day in advance, and you use your time and you work on achieving the goals that are important to you. You set priorities, and you do things of high value rather than things of low value.
You don't owe anyone an explanation for keeping your circle tight and your energy protected. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength that doesn't need an audience. Not everyone will get you, and that's okay. Those who resonate with you will understand without you having to say a word. Stay true to yourself. Preserve your energy for what really matters. In a world loud with distractions, be the calm that others need.
The people we admire the most are the ones that stand alone. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to take chances. They're willing to be outliers that don't follow the rules. that understand what it takes to be great, understands you have to be different in order to succeed. You have to take a different path. You can't follow what everybody else is doing.
Who you are today is going to continue to be the person you are if you don't change anything about you or around you. You have to start looking and saying, who am I affiliating with? And what level are they at? And if I'm at equal level with them, I have to start looking for new people to affiliate with. If I'm going to become the average of the people I hang out with, then I want to make sure I'm leveling up in who I'm hanging out with. It's when I get complacent and I decide to coast, that's when I roll backwards. So I want to keep driving. I want to keep driving to the next level. I want to find out what motivates me and I want to go after it. I have to define that. I have to figure out what it is that motivates me, but then I can go after it. And I can find the people that have done it. I can find the people that have blazed that trail. And I can follow them. I can follow them to a certain point. But just like if I'm walking through snow and I follow the person in front of me and I walk in their tracks, eventually I have to go make my own tracks. But by following through those tracks, I've realized I understand how to walk through that snow even better. So when I venture off on my own, yeah, it'll be slow at first. But I'll know what I'm doing because I've seen it done. I'm going to learn from others. I'm going to do what they did to get to where they are. And then I'm going to grow and do it even better. I'm going to level up by finding people who've been there before.
You're not failing because of the circumstance or situation. You're failing because mentally you let the circumstance and situation make you stop laying bricks. And you're not successful because you keep laying bricks, not laying bricks, laying bricks, not laying bricks. If you would just lay bricks regardless.
The way I do it is I ask myself what's true. You can write a narrative in your head and spin yourself down a negative path and beat yourself up and second guess and go back. But what's true is you made what you thought was the best decision in the moment, and then you leave it behind. Now, I have a mentor of mine that says, learn the lesson, leave the event. You leave the event behind and you learn everything you can from it, and there's no going back.
What are you doing? You stop hoping, you stop dreaming, you stop setting your expectations high. What are you doing? That's not the you that's always been you. What are you doing? You've let them get in your mind. You've let them lower your expectations. You let trials, tribulations, no's after no's bog you down. What are you doing?
No one will believe in you until you believe in you, and then the more you believe in you, the more the world will start believing in you. Another way to shape it is every visionary was initially ridiculed before they were revered. So I want you to think about that. Believe in your vision, your mighty possibility. Go out there and do the work required to make your vision real. And if you do it step by step, day by day, eventually the world will say, wow, you're a genius.
Challenging times blow. And when I think about periods in my life that were just an absolute struggle, financially, emotionally, in relationships, it's horrible. And here's what I would always tell myself. This challenge is molding and shaping and strengthening me in ways that I didn't know that I needed. Because the thing about strength in life and character and resilience is those things, like steel, they're forged in the fire of your life. And so you create that when things are hard. And so just keep waking up and doing the best that you can, and know that one of these days you're going to wake up, you're going to get through it. You're going to see a stronger, braver, and more resilient you staring back at you.
Everything in your life right now, everything you have, everything you do not have right now, are all results of your past actions. And that's hard to accept for a lot of us. But until you accept that, you will not be able to move forward. And when you do accept that, you take ownership and control over your life.